Welcome to Nibble Pop Stories. Today we will hear the story of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. In 1801, Lockwood rents a secluded manor, Thrushcross Grange, in Yorkshire. Soon after, he visits his landlord, Heathcliff, who lives at a nearby manor called Wuthering Heights. It is named after the harsh winds that blow across the moors. Lockwood enjoys solitude and finds the remote setting appealing. He is also intrigued by Heathcliff's reserved nature. Heathcliff looks like a dark-skinned gypsy, yet behaves like a gentleman. Lockwood believes that Heathcliff's cold manner reflects a distaste for emotional displays, relating it to his own experience of rejecting a woman's affection. Lockwood is fascinated. He decides to return the next day. The next day, Lockwood returns to Wuthering Heights as snow begins to fall. No one answers his knock at the door, so Joseph, an old servant, informs him that Heathcliff is away. Eventually, a young man leads Lockwood inside, where he discovers a beautiful girl sitting by the fire. Assuming she is Heathcliff's wife, he attempts to make conversation, but she responds rudely. When Heathcliff arrives, he corrects Lockwood. The young woman is his daughter-in-law. Lockwood then presumes that the young man who let him in is Heathcliff's son, but Heathcliff clarifies that the young man, Hareton Earnshaw, is not his son. His son is dead. As the snowfall intensifies into a blizzard, Lockwood requests that someone guide him back to Thrushcross Grange, but Heathcliff says he has no one to spare. When Lockwood asks to stay the night, Heathcliff coldly informs him that the house is not equipped for guests. Lockwood feels frustrated. He grabs a lantern and sets off on his own. Joseph thinks Lockwood intends to steal the lantern. He sets the dogs on him. Lockwood is pinned to the ground by the dogs. He becomes so agitated that his nose begins to bleed. Zillah, the housekeeper, takes pity on him and offers him a place to sleep. Lockwood is shaken. He resigns himself to spending the night at Wuthering Heights. Zillah takes Lockwood to a room that Heathcliff forbids anyone to enter. Inside, Lockwood notices 3 names scratched into the window ledge: Catherine Earnshaw, Catherine Heathcliff, and Catherine Linton. He also discovers a 25-year-old diary written by Catherine. As he reads an entry from shortly after her father's death, it becomes evident that Catherine and Heathcliff shared a deep bond, while her elder brother, Hindley, had a strong hatred towards Heathcliff. Before Lockwood can read the diary further, he falls asleep. He has a nightmare. In his nightmare, he breaks a window to let in some air, and a child grabs his hand. She introduces herself as Catherine and pleads to be let in, claiming she has been trying to enter for 20 years. When Lockwood cries out in terror, Heathcliff rushes into the room. Lockwood shares his nightmare, but Heathcliff is furious that Lockwood was permitted to stay in the room at all. Lockwood tries to avoid further disturbances. He vows to stay awake until dawn. As he leaves, he hears Heathcliff cry out for Catherine, pleading for her to return. The next morning, Heathcliff accompanies Lockwood home. The servants at Thrushcross Grange are relieved to see him. They feared he had died in the storm. However, Lockwood, still shaken, locks himself in the study. Lockwood speaks with his housekeeper, Nellie Dean, who explains the complex relationships at Wuthering Heights. She tells him that Kathy, the young woman he encountered during his visit, is the daughter of the late Catherine. Hareton, Kathy's cousin, is the son of her uncle, Hindley Earnshaw. Nellie then begins to recount the intricate history of love, hatred, and revenge that has shaped the lives of the Earnshaws and the Lintons. Two neighboring families, the Earnshaws and the Lintons, shaped the history of Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange. The Earnshaws lived at Wuthering Heights, while the Lintons resided at Thrushcross Grange. Nellie has worked at Wuthering Heights for 18 years, witnessing many of the events firsthand. Mr. Earnshaw, the former master of Wuthering Heights, was a stern but fair man. During a business trip to Liverpool, he found a homeless orphan and brought him home, naming the boy Heathcliff. Catherine, Mr. Earnshaw's daughter, quickly grew close to Heathcliff, but her brother Hindley resented him from the start. Over time, when Heathcliff became Mr. Earnshaw's favorite, Hindley bullied him out of jealousy. Mrs. Earnshaw sided with Hindley against the orphan boy, but she passed away 2 years after Heathcliff arrived. Sometime after Mrs. Earnshaw's death, Mr. Earnshaw's health began to deteriorate as well. As he grew weaker, he became increasingly protective of Heathcliff while becoming more dismissive toward Hindley. To ease the tension between the two boys, he sent Hindley away to college. Catherine, in contrast, had a spirited, tomboyish nature. She spent her days adventuring with Heathcliff, often getting into trouble and provoking those around her with her mischievous behavior. After Mr. Earnshaw's death, Catherine and Heathcliff found comfort in each other's companionship, their bond offering them solace in the face of loss. At Mr. Earnshaw's funeral, Hindley returns home with his new wife, Frances. Now, the master of Wuthering Heights, Hindley, wastes no time asserting his authority. He forces Heathcliff to abandon his education and work in the field instead. In spite of these hardships, Heathcliff and Catherine form a close bond, often escaping their brother by playing together on the moors. One day, they sneak off to Thrushcross Grange. There, they spy on the Linton children, Edgar and Isabella. However, when they are discovered, Skulker, the Linton's dog, attacks Catherine, biting her ankle. The Lintons mistake Heathcliff for a thief, and they treat him poorly while welcoming Catherine with kindness and care. Hindley becomes furious when Mr. Linton visits to lecture him about taking better care of Catherine's upbringing. As a result, Hindley forbids Heathcliff from ever speaking to Catherine again. Catherine stays with the Lintons for 5 weeks while her foot heals. During this time, Mrs. Linton teaches her how to behave like a proper young lady. Catherine returns around Christmas wearing a beautiful dress. She warmly greets Heathcliff but playfully teases him about how dirty he looks compared to Edgar. Heathcliff is offended. He storms out, growling that he'll stay as dirty as he likes. On Christmas Day, Edgar and Isabella visit Wuthering Heights. Hindley is determined to keep Heathcliff away from the guest. He sends him to the kitchen. Before Heathcliff leaves, Edgar makes a cutting remark about his appearance. Heathcliff gets furious. He throws hot applesauce in Edgar's face. Hindley locks Heathcliff in the attic. Catherine believes that both Edgar and Hindley mistreated Heathcliff. After dinner, she slips away from the others to visit Heathcliff. Nellie brings him some food. While eating, Heathcliff tells Nellie that he will get revenge on Edgar for the humiliation he endured. The following summer, Frances gives birth to a son, Hareton. But the strain of childbirth worsens her chronic consumption and she passes away soon after. Hindley is shattered by her death. He hands the baby over to Nellie to care for. He is consumed by grief, he begins to drink excessively and behaves abusively towards his servants, particularly toward Heathcliff. Heathcliff finds grim satisfaction in witnessing Hindley's decline. Meanwhile, Catherine grows closer to Edgar Linton. When Heathcliff confronts her about the amount of time she spends with Edgar, she dismisses him as ignorant and uninteresting. Catherine and Edgar, despite the tensions around them, openly declare their love for each other. Hindley's grief over his wife's death has turned him into an abusive figure, particularly toward Hareton. Meanwhile, Catherine's complex relationship with Heathcliff and Edgar Linton intensifies. She confides in Nellie that Edgar has proposed and she has accepted. Yet, she admits to feeling torn between the security Edgar offers and the bond she shares with Heathcliff. Heathcliff overhears part of this conversation, hearing her say that marrying him would now degrade her. Heathcliff is heartbroken and humiliated. He leaves, not hearing Catherine's confession that despite her engagement, her love for him is unparalleled, believing they are inseparable in spirit. That night, Heathcliff runs away from Wuthering Heights, and Catherine spends the night outdoors in the rain, desperately searching for him. She falls ill, and the Lintons take her to Thrushcross Grange to recover. Catherine soon regains her health, but her illness infects Mrs. Linton, who tragically pass away from it. 3 years later, with no sign of Heathcliff's return, Catherine marries Edgar. When Catherine relocates to Thrushcross Grange, Nellie follows her, leaving Hareton under the care of his drunken father, Hindley. About 6 months after Catherine's marriage to Edgar, Heathcliff returns unexpectedly. No one knows how he spent the 3 years he was away, but during this time, he acquired substantial wealth. Catherine is thrilled to see him. This unsettles Edgar. In a conversation with Catherine and Edgar, Heathcliff admits that he originally returned just to catch a glimpse of Catherine, take revenge on Hindley, and then end his life. However, seeing Catherine's joy at his return has altered his plans. Heathcliff has transformed into a refined, imposing, and physically impressive man. In the days that follow, Catherine and Isabella often visit Wuthering Heights, and Heathcliff becomes a regular visitor at Thrushcross Grange. Isabella quickly becomes infatuated with Heathcliff, in spite of Catherine's warning to stay away from him. Heathcliff does nothing to discourage Isabella's affections, which Nellie suspects is part of a darker, vengeful scheme. Nellie visits Wuthering Heights to speak with Hindley, but instead encounters Hareton. She discovers that Heathcliff has influenced Hareton to swear at his father and has stopped his education. When Heathcliff unexpectedly appears, Nellie flees the house. The following day at Thrushcross Grange, Nellie witnesses Heathcliff embracing Isabella. Catherine walks in on them and confronts Heathcliff, demanding to know his true feelings for Isabella. She even offers to persuade Edgar to approve of their marriage if Heathcliff truly loves her. However, Heathcliff accuses Catherine of betraying him by marrying Edgar and promises to take his revenge. Nellie then fetches Edgar, who orders Heathcliff to leave and strikes him in the throat. Realizing the danger, Catherine asks Heathcliff to leave, and he eventually makes his escape. After Heathcliff's departure, Edgar confronts Catherine. He demands that she choose between him and Heathcliff. Catherine refuses to respond and isolates herself in a room. Meanwhile, Edgar warns Isabella that pursuing any relationship with Heathcliff will result in her being disowned from the family. Catherine falls into a state of delirium, refusing to eat for days and convinced that she is dying. Eventually, she takes some food but cannot understand why Edgar has not come to her. She is consumed by despair. She yearns for her past and staggers to the window. She claims she can see Wuthering Heights and declares that even in death, she will not find peace until she is united with Heathcliff. When Edgar arrives, he is horrified to find Catherine in such a frail state. Nellie quickly fetches a doctor who reassures them that Catherine may recover with proper care. That same night, Isabella runs off with Heathcliff. Edgar decides not to pursue her, believing that she has severed their bond through her actions. Edgar and Nellie spend months nursing Catherine through her illness. Although she never fully recovers, she becomes pregnant. Edgar hopes that the child will be a boy and secure the inheritance of Thrushcross Grange, preventing it from passing to Isabella and Heathcliff. 6 weeks after marrying Heathcliff, Isabella writes to Edgar, asking for his forgiveness. When he refuses to respond, she reaches out to Nellie. In her letter, Isabella describes the torture she suffers at Wuthering Heights. Hindley, Joseph, and Hareton treat her with cruelty, while Heathcliff reveals his intention to punish her as a substitute for Edgar, whom he blames for Catherine's condition. She regrets her decision to marry Heathcliff and begs Nellie to visit her. Nellie informs Edgar of his sister Isabella's unhappy situation. Although he refuses to write or to visit her, he permits Nellie to see Isabella. Upon arriving at Wuthering Heights, Nellie finds Isabella in a state of collapse, while Heathcliff appears remarkably improved and greets Nellie with unexpected warmth. When Nellie confronts him about his mistreatment of Isabella, Heathcliff claims that he never deceived her and that it is her own fault for viewing him as a hero of romance. He insists that Nellie help him visit Catherine. Nellie initially refuses. However, under the threat of being detained at Wuthering Heights and causing a scene at Thrushcross Grange, she reluctantly agrees to facilitate their meeting. She takes a letter from Heathcliff for Catherine, hoping it might lift her spirits. 4 days after visiting Wuthering Heights, Nellie gives Heathcliff's letter to Catherine while Edgar is away at church. Catherine is so weak that she cannot even hold the letter. But as soon as Nellie tells her it is from Heathcliff, Heathcliff himself enters the room. He is devastated to see Catherine in such a state. Catherine says she cannot think of dying while Heathcliff is alive and declares that she never wants to be apart from him. They embrace as Heathcliff asks why she betrayed her own heart by marrying Edgar. She begs for his forgiveness. He says he can forgive her for the pain she has caused him, but can never forgive her for the pain she has inflicted on herself. At that moment, Edgar returns home from church. Heathcliff rises to leave, but Catherine begs him to stay. As Edgar approaches, Catherine collapses and Heathcliff catches her. He places her into Edgar's arms and tells him that caring for Catherine is more important than being angry. Later that night, Catherine gives birth to a premature baby girl, Kathy. Although the baby survives, Catherine dies within hours of the childbirth. Heathcliff curses Catherine for the pain she has caused him, and then begs her to haunt and torment him for the rest of his life, even if it drives him mad, just so they can be together. While Edgar is away, Nellie allows Heathcliff to see Catherine one last time. After he leaves, Nellie notices that he discarded the lock of Edgar's hair that was in Catherine's locket and replaced it with a lock of his own hair. Nellie intertwines the two locks together and places them both in the locket. Hindley is invited to his sister's funeral, but he does not show up, and Isabella is not even invited. Catherine is buried in a corner of the churchyard, overlooking the moors that she so loved. After the funeral, Isabella unexpectedly shows up at Thrushcross Grange. She has run all the way from Wuthering Heights. She explains that life at Wuthering Heights has become unbearable and violent. Hindley intended to go to Catherine's funeral, but ultimately spent the entire day drinking heavily. Later that night, he tried to kill Heathcliff. However, Heathcliff cut Hindley's wrist and beat him mercilessly. The next morning, Heathcliff threw a knife at her. Fleeing the nightmare that Wuthering Heights had become, Isabella leaves for London, carrying with her the weight of trauma and hope for a new life. There, she gives birth to Heathcliff's son, Linton. Heathcliff, upon learning through Nellie of his wife's location and the birth of his son, chooses not to seek them out. 6 months after Catherine's death, Hindley, broken by his loss and self-destructive path, dies deeply in debt to Heathcliff. When Nellie returns to Wuthering Heights to bring young Hareton back, she learns that Heathcliff is now the master of the Heights. He intends to raise Hareton on his own and one day reclaim his son, Linton. Cathy grows up over the next 12 years at Thrushcross Grange, becoming a beautiful, intelligent and kind girl, though somewhat spoilt by her father. Edgar confines her to the grounds of the Grange, keeping her unaware of Heathcliff and Wuthering Heights. Things change when Edgar learns that his sister Isabella is dying. He rushes to London, determined to bring back her son Linton. In her father's absence, Cathy manages to slip past Nellie's watchful eyes and escape the confines of the Grange. Along the way, she encounters Hareton, who is now grown into a handsome 18-year-old. Cathy is immediately drawn to him, and the two share a day filled with laughter and play, a rare moment of joy that neither had experienced in a long time. Nellie eventually tracks Cathy down at Wuthering Heights, and she urges her to leave immediately. Cathy is enchanted by Hareton's presence. She resists. However, when she discovers that Hareton is not the master of Wuthering Heights, as she has assumed, but rather her cousin, she feels cheated. Reluctantly, she allows Nellie to lead her away from Wuthering Heights. On the way home, she begs Nellie not to tell Edgar about their visit. Once Isabella dies, Edgar returns to Thrushcross Grange with young Linton. Cathy is filled with excitement at the thought of meeting her cousin. However, when Linton finally arrives, she is a bit disappointed. He is pale and frail, carrying none of the features she had imagined. Edgar hopes that if Linton is allowed to stay at Thrushcross Grange, he might find strength and joy in Cathy's youthful energy. That night, however, Joseph, Heathcliff's servant, arrives to take Linton to Wuthering Heights. Edgar promises that he will bring Linton to Heathcliff in the morning. The next morning, Nellie takes Linton to Wuthering Heights. Along the way, she tries to comfort him, telling lies about the father he is about to meet. When they arrive at Wuthering Heights, Linton is terrified by Heathcliff's cold, commanding presence. There is no pretense of affection. Heathcliff calls Linton his property and refers to his mother as a wicked slut. He admits that he has no love for Linton, only a desire to use him to gain control of Thrushcross Grange. Linton begs Nelly not to leave him with Heathcliff, but she can only ride back helplessly on Cathy's pony. As time stretches on, Nelly's heart grows heavy whenever she encounters the housekeeper from Wuthering Heights, who brings news of Linton. She learns that Linton remains sick and miserable and that Heathcliff cannot stand him. Cathy's 16th birthday arrives, and she convinces Nelly to join her for a walk through the moors. However, in the wild expanse of the hills, Nelly loses sight of her for a moment. Cathy walks further and further ahead until she is encroaching on Heathcliff's land. When Nelly finally catches up to Cathy, she sees her speaking to the last man Nelly wanted her to meet, Heathcliff. He invites them to Wuthering Heights to meet his son. Cathy does not know that this son is her cousin Linton. She is curious to meet the boy, and Nelly cannot keep her from going. As they walk, Heathcliff tells Nelly that he wants Cathy to marry Linton so that he will inherit Thrushcross Grange after Edgar's death. When Cathy and Linton meet, they do not even recognize each other. They have changed much in 3 years. And since Linton is too sickly to show Cathy around the farm, she leaves with Hareton instead. Heathcliff pushes Linton to follow after them. Later, back at Thrushcross Grange, Cathy demands to know the truth from her father and why he has kept her relatives a secret. Edgar speaks of old conflicts and griefs that have worsened over the years. He begs her not to reach out to Linton again. However, Nelly soon discovers that Cathy and Linton have been secretly exchanging love letters. Nelly suspects that parts of Linton's letters have been written by someone more experienced. When Nelly threatens to show the letters to Edgar, Cathy promises to cut off the relationship, and Nelly burns all the letters. Moreover, she sends a note to Wuthering Heights requesting that Cathy should not be contacted again. That winter, Edgar's health deteriorates. He is unable to spend much time with Cathy. As a result, Nelly becomes Cathy's closest companion. One day, while walking in the garden, Cathy climbs a wall to pick some fruit. In the process, her hat tumbles over to the other side. She climbs down the wall, but soon realizes she cannot climb back up. While Nelly searches for the gate key, Heathcliff unexpectedly appears. He informs Cathy that Linton is very ill and possibly dying. Accusing her of cruelty for ending her correspondence with Linton, Heathcliff urges her to visit him while he is away the following week. Cathy feels guilty and decides to visit Wuthering Heights the next morning. Nelly reluctantly agrees to accompany her, hoping that seeing Linton will reveal the truth behind Heathcliff's claims. The following morning, Cathy and Nelly ride through the rain to Wuthering Heights. They find Linton complaining about the servants and scolding Cathy for not visiting him sooner. Linton then awkwardly brings up the idea of marriage. Cathy pushes his hair in a fit of temper. Linton starts coughing and accuses Cathy of assaulting him, claiming she has worsened his already fragile health. Cathy feels guilty and agrees to nurse him. After Nelly and Cathy return home, Nelly realizes she has caught a cold from traveling in the rain. Cathy dedicates herself to caring for both her father and Nelly during the day, but begins secretly traveling to Wuthering Heights at night to be with Linton. When Nelly recovers, she discovers where Kathy has been spending her evenings. Kathy confesses that she has been visiting Linton at Wuthering Heights. She recounts one trip when Hareton stopped her and proudly demonstrated that he could read the name Hareton carved above the house's front door. However, when he admitted he couldn't read the date in the inscription, Kathy laughed and called him an idiot. Enraged, Hareton interrupted her visit with Linton, forced them out of the room, and locked them outside. Linton began coughing violently until he coughed up blood. Feeling regretful, Hareton carried Linton upstairs. Later, Hareton apologized to Kathy, but she struck him with her riding whip and left. A few days later, when Kathy returned to Wuthering Heights, Linton blamed her for his humiliation. After 2 days, Kathy visited Linton again to inform him that she would no longer see him. Linton, however, apologized, and Kathy forgave him after hearing how deeply he claimed to love her. Once Kathy finishes her story, Nellie informs Edgar of everything. Edgar forbids Kathy from visiting Linton at Wuthering Heights again. However, he agrees to allow Linton to visit Thrushcross Grange instead. Kathy obeys her father and stops visiting Linton, but Linton never visits Thrushcross Grange as he is too weak to make the journey. As Edgar's health steadily declines, he grows increasingly concerned about Kathy's future after his death. He tells her that if marrying Linton would make her happy, he would allow it, even though it would mean Heathcliff inheriting the Grange. Both Edgar's and Linton's health continue to deteriorate. Eventually, Edgar consents to Kathy meeting Linton, but only on the moors and under Nellie's careful supervision. What Edgar does not realize is that Linton is nearly as close to death as he is. Kathy and Nellie ride to the location on the moors where they are supposed to meet Linton, but he is not there. Instead, they find him near Wuthering Heights. He appears extremely weak, so weak that he cannot even follow their conversation. Nellie notices that he seems afraid of Heathcliff. Kathy promises Linton that she will visit him again. As Heathcliff approaches, Kathy and Nellie quickly ride away. During the next week, Edgar's health continues to decline. Kathy rides with Nellie to meet Linton on the moors. Linton reveals that his father is forcing him to court Kathy and confesses that he is terrified of what Heathcliff will do if Kathy rejects him. As they talk, Heathcliff arrives and questions about Edgar's health. He admits that he worries Linton will die before Edgar. Heathcliff then asks Kathy to help Linton back to the house. Unable to refuse, Kathy and Nellie accompany Linton inside. However, as soon as they cross the threshold, Heathcliff locks the door behind them. He vows to imprison Kathy until she agrees to marry Linton. The next morning, Heathcliff takes Kathy out of the bedroom and leaves Nellie locked inside. Nellie is forced to stay in the bedroom for 5 days under the guard of Hareton. At last, the housekeeper Zillah frees Nellie from the bedroom. She tells her that the villagers have spread rumors that both Nellie and Kathy were lost in the marshes. Nellie finds Linton, who informs her that Kathy has been locked in another room and reveals that he and Kathy are now married. Linton is delighted, as he is now controlling all of Kathy's inheritance with Edgar close to death. Nellie hurries back to the Grange and assures the dying Edgar that Kathy is safe and will soon return. She sends a group of servants to Wuthering Heights to retrieve Kathy, but they fail and return without her. Edgar plans to place Kathy's inheritance in the hands of trustees to keep it out of Heathcliff's control. He summons his lawyer, Mr. Green, to amend his will. However, Mr. Green, who is later revealed to be working for Heathcliff, cannot be found. Not long after, Cathy escapes from Wuthering Heights with Linton's help and returns home. Edgar sees his daughter one final time before he dies. Cathy pretends to be happy as Linton's wife to ease his mind. Shortly after Edgar's death, Mr. Green reappears, as it is now too late to change the will. Mr. Green dismisses all the servants and tries to prevent Edgar from being buried next to Catherine. However, Nellie insists that Edgar must be laid to rest beside his wife. After Edgar's funeral, Heathcliff comes to the Grange to take Cathy back to Wuthering Heights. He says he has punished Linton for helping Cathy escape. Heathcliff plans to rent out the Grange and orders Nellie to stay there as the housekeeper. As Cathy packs, Nellie asks Heathcliff to let her be the housekeeper at Wuthering Heights so she can stay close to Cathy. Heathcliff ignores her request and instead orders Catherine's portrait to be taken to Wuthering Heights. He tells Nellie that he bribed the sexton to open Catherine's coffin and remove the side of her coffin that faced away from Edgar's grave. When he dies, Heathcliff says he wants to be buried on that side of Catherine's grave so that he and Catherine might mingle in the earth. Nellie scolds him for disturbing the dead. Heathcliff says that Catherine's ghost has haunted him for 18 years, but he has never been able to reach her. As they leave, Cathy asks Nellie to visit her. However, Heathcliff declares that Nellie is not allowed to come to Wuthering Heights unless he summons her. Nellie has not seen Cathy since that day and only receives news about her from Zillah. Heathcliff does not allow anyone at Wuthering Heights to show kindness to Cathy and forces her to care for Linton herself until his death. Since Linton's passing, Cathy has remained distant from both Zillah and Hareton. Nellie has taken a cottage herself and wants to bring Cathy to live with her, but she knows that Heathcliff will not allow it. The only hope for Cathy's future would be another marriage, but such a possibility seems unlikely. Nellie's story ends here. Lockwood decides to ride out to Wuthering Heights to inform Heathcliff that he will spend the next 6 months in London and that Heathcliff should find another tenant for the Grange. Lockwood no longer wishes to spend another winter in such strange company. Lockwood travels to Wuthering Heights and brings Cathy a note from Nellie. Cathy eagerly reads the letter and begins to open up to Lockwood, telling him that Heathcliff has destroyed all her books. She mentions that Hareton has been trying to learn to read and has apparently taken her few remaining books. Lockwood tries to encourage Cathy to support Hareton's efforts at self-improvement, but she continues to mock him. Humiliated and angry, Hareton slaps Cathy and throws her books into the fire. At that moment, Heathcliff enters the house. Lockwood takes the opportunity to inform him that he wishes to leave Thrushcross Grange. After having dinner with Hareton and Heathcliff, Lockwood departs. He feels disappointed to miss a final glimpse of the beautiful Cathy. On his way back to the Grange, he muses on how much better Cathy's life could have been if she had fallen in love with him and allowed him to take her away to a more pleasant place than Wuthering Heights. 6 months later, while visiting a friend, Lockwood realizes he is quite close to Thrushcross Grange. Curious, he decides to stop by and spend the night, as he is still technically renting the house. A servant informs him that Nellie Dean is now at Wuthering Heights. Lockwood is surprised. He decides to walk over to the Heights. As he approaches the house, Lockwood notices Cathy and Hareton through the window. Kathy is helping Hareton read, and Lockwood is shocked to see them affectionately touching and exchanging kisses. He continues to the kitchen, where he finds Nellie sitting. Nellie is surprised by his arrival. She tells him the rest of the story. She explains that 2 weeks after Lockwood left, Zillah found a new job, and Heathcliff asked Nellie to take her place at Wuthering Heights. She says how one day Hareton accidentally shot himself while working, and Kathy tended to him. During this time, Kathy gave Hareton a book and promised to teach him to read, while vowing never to mock him again. The two slowly reconciled and fallen in love. At breakfast the morning after Kathy gives Hareton the book, she and Heathcliff argue about her inheritance and her relationship with Hareton. Heathcliff nearly strikes her, but as he looks into her face, he suddenly lets her go, seemingly struck by something in her eyes that reminds him of Catherine. Over time, Heathcliff becomes increasingly withdrawn. One day, as Nellie watches Kathy and Hareton reading together, Heathcliff suddenly enters the room. Kathy and Hareton look up from their book, shocking Heathcliff with their strong resemblance to Catherine. Later, he confesses to Nellie that he no longer cares much about taking revenge on Kathy and Hareton. His all-consuming desire was to be reunited with Catherine, and that has rendered everything else in life meaningless. As time passes, Heathcliff refuses all food and demands to be left entirely alone. After spending an entire night wandering through the moors, he returns the next morning with a strange, joyful glitter in his eyes. He appears to see Catherine's ghost before him and seems to communicate with it. He begins murmuring Catherine's name and insists that Nellie remember his burial wishes. The next day, Heathcliff locks himself in his room and refuses to see even a doctor. Using a spare key, Nellie enters the room and finds Heathcliff dead and soaking wet. He had thrown open the window to let the rain pour over him. Heathcliff is buried according to his wishes, next to Catherine. In the months following Heathcliff's death, several people claimed to see the ghosts of Heathcliff and Catherine wandering together through the moors. As Nellie nears the end of her tale, she shares that Kathy and Hareton will be married on New Year's Day. They plan to live at Thrushcross Grange, leaving Joseph to tend to Wuthering Heights. As Kathy and Hareton return from a walk, Lockwood leaves the heights and wanders through the moors to the churchyard where Heathcliff has been recently buried. There, he sees the graves of Edgar and Heathcliff, with Catherine's grave between them. Observing the beautiful flowers blooming over the graves and feeling the gentle summer breeze from the moors, Lockwood feels certain that the three souls below are finally at peace. With this, we have come to the end of Wuthering Heights. Do let us know if you are finding this series useful, and also tell us which stories you want us to tell you. If you like the content of our channel, please subscribe and share with your friend. With these words, this is Monami Mukherjee signing off. Good night.